Hello. Today's reading is from Isaiah chapter 9, verses 2, 6 and 7. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forever. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. I wonder if you're feeling a little starved of light. Today, the 21st of December, is the shortest day of the year. Today, we had approximately 7 hours and 34 minutes between sunrise and sunset. For comparison, on the longest day, June the 21st, we had 17 hours and 4 minutes of sunlight. That's a staggering 9.5 hours more sunlight than today. And our bodies and our minds crave light. Sunlight gives vitamin D, which is crucial for our health, for our immune systems, for our overall well-being. Sunlight increases our serotonin levels in the brain, helping raise our mood and give us energy. And personally, I can't wait for when the clocks go forward again, when suddenly, of course, the nights are lighter, the days are longer, things start to grow and go green, and we can get out and enjoy our beautiful countryside here in North Wales. But today is the shortest day, and it's dark. But we know, don't we, that things are on the turn. Today is the moment when things have been getting darker and darker and darker and darker, but from tomorrow onwards, they're going to be getting lighter. Gradually, almost imperceptibly at first, but they'll get lighter and lighter and lighter. Today is a day of hope that although the darkness is here, the light is coming. The reading that I just read said this: the people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Those words were spoken by the prophet Isaiah hundreds of years before the birth of Christ. But Isaiah was someone who had hope that although they were living in darkness, the light was coming. And that light would come in the shape of a child. He goes on to say, for to us a child is born, to us a son is given. He will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And of course, Isaiah's hope was not in vain, because Jesus did come. As the Apostle John puts it in his first chapter, in him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light that gives life to everyone was coming into the world. I wonder if you're feeling a little bit starved of light. Our world in 2025 feels like a bit of a dark place. There seems to be an increase in hatred and bitterness, ramped up by online echo chambers and polarised news outlets. Wars and violence continue across the world. And the terrible shootings recently in Australia and the USA demonstrate that humanity is still in a mess. We can't seem to get things right. We can't seem to live in peace. We can't seem to sort ourselves out. It's like we're stumbling around in a dark room, crashing into each other, causing nothing but pain and damage wherever we go. And just before we blame it all on other people, if we're honest, if we're really honest, sometimes we catch a glimpse of that darkness in our own hearts as well, that bitterness, that resentment, that anger, that disdain for other people, that selfishness. Often we can keep a lid on it. We try to be nice, we smile. But when we're under pressure, often that's when it comes out. That's when it surfaces and we say things that we regret. That's, of course, what the Bible calls sin. That's our human legacy, our human downfall, our desire to try to do things our own way, and failure. But there is hope. Hope sung in the words of carols, hope whispered in the words of the old story. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, even here, even now in 2025, a light has dawned. A child is born to us. A son is given to us. Jesus of Nazareth is that light, the light of the world, the light that brings life to all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not and cannot and will not overcome it. Jesus was killed, and in the act of dying, he allowed all the darkness of this world, all our sin, all our violence, all the evil of this world to be laid on him, aimed at him, inflicted on him. He took it upon himself, even going down into the very darkness of the grave. But the light could not be extinguished. Very early on Easter morning, as the new day dawned in the east, the stone was rolled away, the grave was empty, Jesus was risen from the dead. And we believe he is alive. He's alive and reigning as King today at the right hand of the Father in heaven. And it's our sure and certain hope that one day he will return to judge the living and the dead, to put everything right that's wrong, to wipe every tear from our eyes, and to make everything new. On that day, we want to be walking in the light, not hiding in the dark. He invites us to walk with him day by day, to receive his light into our lives. And when we decide to follow him, when we decide to follow Jesus, it's like a light being switched on in a darkened room. We see things how they truly are. When we decide to follow Jesus, we see our sin and the darkness of our hearts for what they are. And we begin to desire to be transformed, to leave all that stuff behind, and instead to walk in the light with him. When we decide to follow Jesus, we know deep down in our hearts that we are completely, unconditionally loved, beloved children of God, who are then free to love others without fear, without shame. When we decide to follow Jesus, even the darkness of death and the grave holds no fear for us anymore, because we know that we'll be safe with him in his light and life forever. I wonder if you're feeling a little starved of light. This world's got lots of twinkly things that glitter and glow. Money, possessions, celebrity, fame, all kinds of diversions and distractions, mostly shaped like screens. All kinds of sparkly, glittery things to numb us, lure us into fantasy and escapism and short-lived pleasure. Counterfeit spiritualities that promise so much, but actually all they offer is fear and lies. These things are not the light. The true light that gives light to everyone has come into the world, and his name is Jesus. And the good news is that this Jesus, born as a baby in Bethlehem, he's not some distant, impersonal God. He loves us. He is potty about us. He loves you. He loves me with a passion. He loves us so much he came to die for us. And he wants us to come into the light. He wants us to come out of hibernation, to lift up our heads, to feel the sunlight on our skin, to allow his light to wake us up, revive us, enliven us, heal us, transform us, and make us grow. And as we bask in his light, we ourselves can then become lights to reflect his glory and love to the world. Amen.